What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Power Rankings. I am your host, X-Ray. Joining me this week, hopefully as a permanent co-host, Sparks. How's it going, sir?
Good, good, good. I was able to make it last week, but yeah, I'm hoping to be on here more permanent as
All
doing power
right.
rankings.
I'm excited. Technically, yeah, this is you joining the content team, so I'm excited to have you, and I'm excited what ideas you're gonna bring, and hopefully we'll make some good content
Thanks.
together. But yes, joining us week is a legend of Summit slash La Liga. I mean, two wins and a Boomers and Zoomers victory. Asteria, how you doing, sir?
Hello, hello. I'll have to correct you because I'll get flamed otherwise. Just the one win.
Just
I
one
threw
win?
on the other one. Just the one win. But yeah,
You
for those of you who
Joe?
don't know me, I'm a bronze 2 top lane Ornn player.
Oh my god! Wait, no,
So
didn't you win with Joe's host twice?
no, I was
Or
not on Jozo's the first time.
huh? Okay, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. My facts were incorrect, and that's pretty normal on this show, though.
Yeah, my Ornn top got carried the second time around.
Orin top or Orin mid lane?
Ornn support.
Orin support. All right, but let us get into week one games, or not week one games, week one power rankings. So starting off for me, I actually decided to expand one tier. Basically, every single one of these, I'm basically gonna have an elite tier, top tier, mid tier, and a low tier. So in my elite tier, I have Owen, Juan, and DV. Even though Owen lost his series, I mean, still had a very large impact in his games. I mean, if you just literally look at game two, that Aatrox, whew,
Mhm.
man, that bro was cooking on it. And then Juan showing Banana why he's the second best top laner, and David showing Asuna why you should ban his Shen, because that Shen was really strong. Then we're going to our top tier: Gar, Banana, X-Ray. All three of these players played well and had some sort of impact, large impact in their series. In the mid tier, I have ISO, Beartail, John Dye, Asuna, and Patstick. For ISO and Beartail, I was very pleased with their performance. I thought ISO Zach was really good. I thought Beartail's top lane, being that rock in the top lane for the side of Wawa Warriors was really good. And then everyone else, it's kind of just like either a respect pick or like they kind of were played at below expectations. Um, Honestly, I can't really expect anything from like Asuna playing into David, um, or Pat Thick. I think I can't remember who he played against. He's on. Oh yeah, he was playing against me. I totally forgot, but I just not a whole lot of impact, honestly. And then going into our low tier, VLN, Doki, KipCat slash Bronzina. KipCat played two games. Bronze played the first game. I'm actually very pleased with VLN's performance against Owen. He actually had a couple of really good plays. In the first game, he actually almost killed Owen in a 1v1. In a tower dive. And then just had a good week. Hopefully he can, play good this next week and bump himself up to the mid tier. And then Doki couldn't find a VOD, but heard it was bad. And then KipCat, both of these guys lost to Zach, ISO Zach top. So that's why you guys are here. And yeah, that's about it for the top lane for me. And I'm gonna send it over to Sparks.
Yeah, I think pretty clearly already at the beginning we're seeing a distinction on at least the top three that I think is fairly common set. I think Cora has Gar in there as well, and I'd put Gar like right under David. Like I think Gar can definitely play
Mm-hmm.
up there, but I'm really hot on Owen, One Cake, and David. I didn't really know how One Cake would do beforehand. He's kind of one of the newer faces here,
Yeah.
but man, he is he's
He's
good. He's really good. I was thoroughly impressed in the game. I was just thoroughly impressed with some of the admins in general, but that's kind of like my
Mhm.
top three, like my top tier, and then like going below that into like still I think like high tier players. I definitely have Gar, Banana, X-Ray, you. I'd actually I'd get close to like putting Fringe on Baratel and ISO, but there's definitely I think a distinction there.
Hmm.
But Baratel, I think Baratel for me was like the most impressed that I was just like off
Oh,
of
for sure.
expectations leading into this week for sure. So I just want to give a big shout out there. I mean, you can see it before preseason rankings.
Yeah.
Baratel was under.
Last. Well, and I think
Yeah.
the reason he was ranked last for a lot of people is because like he is like vocalized,
Vocal.
yeah, literally so
Yeah.
much that is like, hey man, I do not like top lane. Please do not put me
Mhm.
top lane. And then to him being forced to top lane this season, and then showing up and playing, he's still playing those tank roles, but he's still showing up in a very big way in his game.
Yeah,
so.
it's kind of like taking his like playstyle from jungle, where it's like kind of like tank, like engage style champs, and then bringing it to top lane. So I'm glad it's meshing well. I'm hoping to see more of that in the future. But besides that, again, Berto ISO, I was impressed by kind of where I expected other folks to be at, where I am personally with John Dye, Patstick, Asuna. For very last nerve, I'll just say, welcome to the league. Getting the Owen treatment on week 1. Just welcome to the league, buddy. Glad you got it out of the way early. Just how it goes. But I mean, considering the circumstance, hey, good showing. Doki and Kid Cat, I'm not really sure. I'm hoping to see a little bit more. Doki, I wasn't able to catch the VOD either for their team,
Yeah,
but with
there was
Kid
no VOD
Cats,
for them.
yeah, Kid Cats, I hoping to see a little bit more from that, but that'll be more for later. But
Yeah.
definitely hoping to see a little bit more from them at the bottom.
All right, let's hear it, Asteria.
Alrighty, so my list slightly differs from everyone else in a couple areas, and it's mostly for the exact reasons that everyone here is talking about, but I just think there's a little more potential there. So Owen, obviously number 1, a powerhouse. If you somehow come out even against Owen, congratulations, you won your lane in quotation. A 1 cake, fantastic player. Now this is where these could go back and forth. I have Gar here over David. And that's just because I think Gar has a lot more potential to actually maybe carry a game compared to how David plays. David's really good top laner. He's solid. He's a rock. You put him up there, he will do what needs to be done. But in terms of actually like 1v9 in a game, I feel like Gar has a little more potential of that. So where I would do the cutoff for like elite tier is definitely top 4 for me. That's what I would say. The top 2 at the moment, I don't think you can move those. I feel like Owen and
yeah,
1K
sure.
are gonna, they're gonna sit up there for the rest of the season unless something really bad happens. Owen gets a wrist injury.
I honestly think like right now, I think David and 1Cake. I mean, if David keeps playing like the way is like how he did this last series, and then it maybe like 1Cake slips up like a week or something like that, maybe David could go higher. But that's like the only exception. But I think Owen's pretty much got that top spot locked up.
Oh, definitely. If Owen is a very consistent player and he will keep it up. Kind of moving on there. My next middle tier also differs in a way. I put Asuna up here, and that's also based off of
This is
potential.
crazy, actually.
I know Asuna did not have the best showing.
Yeah,
but-
it was an unfortunate series, I'll say.
And admittedly, they don't have the best mental at times, but they definitely are a player who should be able to compete in about where I put them. I am 100% sure. Give them next week. Give them the week after. After they find their footing, they will be up here, just under the elite tier is my guess. That may be copium. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I know.
I think you're having some copium because I'm pretty sure. So let's see. They're next. So they're playing World Soup. So he's playing Owen next week.
Easy win.
He's playing Owen next week. You think he's gonna still be in that same spot next week for you?
I think you'll probably go down depending on other people's performances, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I have faith in Asuna. I'll be the one hoper.
Okay. You know what? I respect it.
Yep. Baratel, I'm just gonna kind of go through a couple noble players. Baratel, we do have to talk about him. You guys already discussed a big part of it, but he was very vocal. I am a fill player unless it's top lane. And he took that and said, it doesn't matter. I'm going to try my best.
I'll build.
And he's asking questions. He's trying to improve, and it's showing. And I think over the course of the season, he'll slowly climb up the rankings as well. It'll be interesting to see what kind of player he decides to be. Because if he decides to play aggressive, he could probably stomp easily the bottom half of the like list here, but he might be able to punch up as well. So you never know. I have faith in him.
Yep.
Very last nerve. I'm so sorry your introduction to Summit was what it was. Hopefully, things will improve. There's a lot of resources to kind of help out, but there's a great personality. What's his next matchup?
His next matchup is going to be Elo Surfers, so it's gonna be Isadact actually.
Ooh, I'm gonna watch that one.
That's a good one.
That's a good matchup.
I think honestly, because like I only saw Isadact play Zac, so I think you ban Zac. It's like okay, now what is Isadact gonna play, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So.
What do we bring out after the Zac's out?
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good showing on the Zac though. So
that'd be a good like point of focus. Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
So, yep, we all have KitKat at last. I don't think I need to talk about that one. So.
Yep. Yeah, and then like you guys said, like compared to like the preseason rankings, I mean, everyone pretty much staying the same, but like Beartail jumping up to that, like that 7th, 8th place right now for us. So I mean, honestly, Beartail most improvement so far for sure. But let's move on to our jungle tier list. Starting off for myself, elite tier Morn. So I have Soulpan, but it was actually not Soulpan. It was Bouncy. But I just wanted to kind of recognize Bouncy. Even though he's a sub, he played incredibly well. That Skarner game 1, I think he was like 14-0 in like 11 or 12 or something like that. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna win the game myself as Skarner jungle. So
it is Skarner season.
It is the Skarner season. So following up Sprinkler in the lead tier. I mean, I just think all these guys had the biggest impact in their games, and that's why they're here. That's just my honest opinion. Top tier, I have Adolfo, Hootie, Cookies, SK Evabs, Touch Vigor, and Slop. Honestly, had a lot of impact in their games. Some of them fell short. Hootie and Vigor. And the reason Vigor is so low on this list for me is because from the information I heard from Array, he's not very vocal, and that's kind of a downgrade for me. Is like I feel like a jungler needs to be more vocal, and like kind of like what they want to do as a player and as a team. Have that clear communication. And then Hootie, it's kind of more of like a respect pick. He has Owen on his team, and he himself also had a good showing. And then everyone else, had a really good showing. I thought Slops, Nocturne was really good, so props to him. And then Ryan, my middle tier, Ryan and Firestorm, just underperformed. I think they'll probably bounce back this next week, hopefully. We'll see. And then finally, my bottom tier. I don't really have any notes. Bronzina, KitKat, whatever. They played okay, but not the best. Gator, I didn't get to see your series, but I heard it was pretty bad. And then I won't back down. I mean, I don't have much for you, bro. It's just a rough life as a jungle. So... and we're changing it up. Asteria, let me hear your list.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're start up with Morn, my beloved. I played on a season with him. I know how good he is. I know how well he can play, whether it's team orientated or just for himself. He's a great player overall, and that's clearly shown throughout the game he's played. And Soulpan, Soup you've already covered the substitute situation there. Sprinkler is a player I never expected to go into the jungle and kick this much ass. Dude, it shocked me.
So it's funny you mentioned that is because before he even drafted a team, he actually DM'd each of his players. By the way, he got all 4 of the players he wanted.
Oh wow!
So
at the Draft Kingdom out here.
Yeah, so he got everyone he wanted. So he messaged each 4 of us, and he's like, all right, here's my plan, and this is my goal with the team. And so I think so far Sprinklers showed to be a really good captain so far, so I'm very happy that he drafted me.
Sounds good. And then we've got Evabs, Vigor, and Adolf Hitler, the very last nerve tournament comers. Those three, you could probably move him in any order, in my opinion. Evaps, he's normally a top laner, but it looks like he's playing jungle. He has good game knowledge. He should be able to kind of convert his knowledge into leads on the map and actually making plays. And it looks like so far it's been pretty successful. Touch Vigor, X Masters. I don't know if he's currently Masters, but he was X Masters. He's a very good player. He should be able to definitely punch up a lot more than he is right now. I do think he isn't having the best port performances of late, but he can definitely improve as the season goes on. Adolf Kittler, I'm a cat fan, so I love the name. Crazy to say, now I'm thinking about that. But yeah, Hootie definitely should probably be higher now that I'm taking a second look at this. He's a pretty crazy. Ryan didn't have the best of showings. Same with Gator. Gator can definitely punch up as well. And kind of just as we go down here, it's about the same tier with from Firestorm Boxer all the way to I Won't Back Down.
Cookies being fucking 13th
Yeah.
is crazy to
I was
me.
gonna ask about that.
So I'm a Cookies fan. He's my boy, I'll be honest, but I do have to admit my boy could have played a little better. And
Wow.
that's crazy to say. That's crazy to
That's
say.
crazy.
I know. I
The
gotta throw a
bars in
little bit
heaven.
of shade. He may have 3 points, but I'm gonna throw a little bit of shade.
That's
Listen,
crazy.
Cookies. I wouldn't take that if I were you. I'm just
The
saying.
bars in heaven. Oh
Nah,
my
this
goodness.
is a friendship banter down
okay.
there.
Okay. I'll respect it. But Sparks, hit me with that list.
I think it's pretty straightforward. I think the main notable parts, Morn, obviously, I think is like I think one thing that I'm noticing with each of the tiers is that there's like always that one person in each one, and then you have some people that can compete with it. Morn, I definitely think is like that one guy in jungle, like kind of like the Owen for top lane.
He's
It's
him.
Morn. Yeah, he's him. But Bouncy, Jesus Christ, I'm really big on Bouncy. I wish I could see more.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, wow.
We'll see if he comes back because like that
I
was a
would love
really
to.
good performance.
Yeah, it was special for sure. I was a little bit conservative with Sprinkler just because I know it's kind of like off roll. I know Evap's off roll. I know a little bit more about Evap, so I put a little higher. Even though I think Sprinkler had some good showings, but I was just impressed with like I guess overall team fighting and knowledge when I was listening to the VODs over it with the Evaps. But definitely, I think these 4 are like for me like really top tier. I would before the season started, I would have Hootie way up there. But it was just kind of a rougher showing. I think definitely like Hootie and Ryan, which I already mentioned before, kind of like a little bit shot under what we were expecting initially. I think I might have been a little bit conservative on Gourmet Cookies. Actually, I was hesitant with Gourmet Cookies going into the season, but showed a little bit more life than I was expecting. So I might actually put him higher in future weeks, depending on how overall performances go. Touch Vigor.
Oh no.
This one I feel like is also another like just underperformance for the week. I'm hoping it turns around. I mean it was a close series, but this one I'm hoping to see more from. I think that's the one I'm probably like most hopeful for. The one Warwick game from Adolfo was incredible. That one Warwick game I'll remember for sure. And then as I kind of go down the list, OT Gator I think is someone that since I didn't get to like see it, just kind of like a placement spot here. I wouldn't put too much like stock on it if OT Gator is watching right now. But I heard the series is rough, but there's always room to go up, especially for OT Gator. So I think it's definitely fine. And then definitely Bronze Cena and I Won't Back Down. Always room to go up is all I'm gonna say. There's always always room to keep going up.
Yeah, and we'll cover the other guy who I said last week. It's like all you can do is go up from here. So he didn't go up, but we'll talk about him later. But moving on. I mean, just looking at last thing before like looking at the preseason rankings. I mean, not a whole bunch of changes. I mean, SK Evaps jumping up there in rank, Sprinkler. Dolphul, and then kind of a couple other players just kind of falling down in the rankings like Ryan, so hopefully they'll be able to come back this week. But let's head on to that mid lane pool. starting off, mid lane. Man, the elite tier. Like, these three players, Gumby, Neversaw, and Psy,
Uh-huh.
I just think they're in just a totally different game than the rest of us. The Gumby Neversaw show up. I didn't realize we were gonna get it week one. But man, what a really good showing by Gumby. And I honestly just think Neversaw kind of had a little bit of an underperformance this week. Maybe it's just like getting used to the new team and everything like that. Even though she,
Never saw Lost on Smolder. I just gotta
yeah.
throw that out there.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing though. Here's the other thing though. It's like she got heavily targeted. She got 3-man mid
Yeah.
about like 4 times in the span
More
of, like,
opportunity for kills.
So, I mean, I definitely still think Neversaw is still good. That's why I still put her second. I was really tempted to put Psy above her, but I decided to put her second. Psy, though, also had a really good performance. Odysseus, or going into my top tier, Odysseus, Loco, PyPy, Array. Oh my gosh, Odysseus looked great against PyPy. Really good showing to what I saw. Loco, besides game one, was looking terrific, honestly. I was very impressed with how he played. The Galio and the Silas looked really good to me. Totally not biased at all. PyPy, honestly, PyPy, I wasn't very pleased with his performance, so I put him as a respect placing. I don't think he's worse than any of these other players on this list, so I put him here. And then the Rave, honestly, just game 1v9 on the Hui, so really good plays. Our mid tier, MHD, Hamea, Frost, and Naki. MHD, great game on the Acel. Hamea, another respect pick. Solo killed Psy. Good. Nice job. And then Frost, solid games against Naki. And then, honestly, Naki, I'm very disappointed. Like, compared to your rank and you're playing against a Phil mid laner, I was very displeased with the performance. So, pick it up. That's all I gotta say. And then finally, my low tier, Flash Knight, Soup, Fossler. Flash played well, but I just don't think he beats any of the players above him right now. Soup got his Nico and played bad. And then I wanted to put Vossler higher, but just due to his team struggled to win, I put him last this week. But I still think like Vossler showed a lot of really good improvement, because I'm pretty sure when I watched some of the live stream, he was like 20 CS off of having 10 CS per min or something like that. I was very impressed of how well he was playing, at least CS wise. So yeah. And Sparks, let's hear it.
I have some pretty strong opinions in mid lane. That's been my main role for this. So this is my baby for tier list,
Okay.
and I hope to kind of forge it over the course of the season.
All right.
But right now I just have some general placements. I really do think it's Gumby, Neversaw, Psy right now is the top 3. Those are the
locked
3 to
in.
watch.
It's locked in.
I think it's locked in. I would love to see another player come in and try to boot at them, but it's so difficult because these 3 are the highest caliber.
For me, I think Gumby is locked in at 1 because
yes.
And then I think Neversaw Neversaw Psy. I think it's just week to week basis. They could swap either way.
Yeah, and I would love to see man. I would love to see anybody kind of be able to push back at any of those 3, because they're looking top tier. It's crazy too, because Neversaw being this high, especially with Gumby. As the matchup, I mean, just testament to how well they played laning. Odysseus was kind of my big surprise going into this week. I didn't expect Odysseus to play as crazy as he did, and I had to give props for it. Maybe I give too high props, but in my personal opinion, I was genuinely super impressed about the performance. I still put PyPy still pretty decent. Pyrosis decently high up. Array for that game 1, I'm pretty high. Loco, it was definitely a big surprise for me. I didn't have a lot of stock going into Loco on the season, but Loco good impressed me. It made me quite happy to see how it was. I think my biggest disappointment for the week is NA or Naki.
Oh, definitely.
Just
Yeah.
definitely my biggest one. I was actually just really impressed by Frost with being autofilled, being able to put on that much of a performance. Like I think like my cutoff would be at Naki, but I don't know. Like I just wasn't too thrilled by it. I definitely think there's room for that to shoot up by a lot. And then the only other thing I have to mention is Vossler. I didn't get to like see it, so I'm gonna it just kind of like just like a placement again.
Yep.
But I want to see more from.
This is why we need VODs. God damn it, we
Yeah,
can't
we
make
need
accurate
VODs big time.
rankings.
The one thing I will say though, with I want to see more from Flash and Knight, just in the future games. I definitely think there's a lot more room there in future series. So I'll be watching him closely, especially because he's a pretty long time, like Summit La Liga kind of player. So that's all.
I don't know if like Azira's banned or something like that, but I was surprised like he didn't pick like his
I don't remember the
signature
bands.
Azir.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but,
Mhm.
we'll see. Asteria, hit me with that list.
Alrighty, so like we've talked about, top 3 is kind of just locked in. Having a player of Gumby Power's a mechanical skill and their knowledge that they bring to the team in the mid lane, let alone, is so beneficial for that team. And it's really showing. And Neversaw, I have to put respect. Neversaw is a fantastic player, and they would probably be in my number 1 spot if I had not watched any games at all. But just seeing Gumby, and a car went by. Just seeing Gumby, just seeing Gumby Power win that hard. I think there were like I want to say 70, 80 CS up at the end of the Smolder game. Smolder into GP. That kind of just showed that Gumby Power is definitely on top. Sai obviously in that top 3 as well. Here is where we get things interesting. I think the mid lane pool is so stacked. I think the top 9 players could easily overtake each other anywhere in there as the season goes on.
Whoa,
I will say
statement.
That is a statement. I will say that. So anyone from top 9, I mean the top 3 is hard to break, of course, but pretty much 3 to 9 is always contestable in my opinion, or 4 to 9 rather. So Odysseus had a great performance. I'm putting him under Fibrosis. This is mostly like a respect pick. 100% Copium, I will be honest. Odysseus kind of dog walked him. We'll talk.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is that's crazy.
That's a crazy spot to put it in.
Like Pi being top 4 right now after the week he had is crazy to me.
Fibrosis has the ability to do really good. Same thing with Neversaw this week, but Pyrosis just didn't show up, and it's really sad to see because Pyrosis could definitely do that. He's the kind of mid laner who just wants to destroy his lane and then impact the rest of the map, and just wasn't able to do that unfortunately. But I still have a lot of respect for him. I think going forward he could definitely stay in that number 4 spot. I'm going to put him in. Hindsight, Odysseus 100% probably should have been above him, but I'm just going to throw respect on the Pi. Array, I do not know what is up with this man. He will pick up any role and just say, yeah, I'd win.
Yeah, I'd win.
He played ADC his first season. He did really well. He played support for me last season, just role swapping from ADC. He did really well. We went into semis, I think.
Yeah.
How far did we get? Semis? Yeah. It's all a blur for me. And then now he's moving to mid lane, and he's running things pretty well there. He more or less solo carried one of those games, and I'm really proud of him. I hope he keeps going the direction he is right now. When I was doing this list for the middle tier, I was like, okay, I gotta pick someone for middle of the pack, and then just go, do I think they're better or worse than them, and then go from there. And that person would be Loco. Fairly good showing. I feel like they could definitely punch up. They could definitely go down from here. Now, Naki and Frost could probably be interchanged. MHD, I generally have a not so bright opinion on their gameplay. They definitely had one of the better showings. Their team winning is a pretty good example of that, and I'm curious to see how the mid jungle 2v2 of Morn MHD actually keeps on going as the season evolves. So that's something to keep an eye on. Could probably go higher an interchange with Himea Frost, Naki. Naki definitely. This is also a kind of respect thing because I really wanted to see them succeed. I feel like Naki could be that mid laner who carries his team, but it just all fell apart, and definitely it's a disappointment to see. I really hope that they are able to bounce back. They could easily, if they have a good week or two, they could easily break into like number 5, number 6. So I'm kind of waiting for that to happen. Vossler, he will improve as the season goes on. I am sure he will go higher up on this list, but for the moment, have to leave him at the bottom. His team is kind of Power of Friendship Part 2. So he's kind of in it. He was a support player expecting to play ADC at worst, and he got thrown into mid. So that's a whole new thing for him. I just don't want to see him at the bottom in these coming weeks. And I think as he gets more coaching and he practices more, he'll definitely hopefully go up a little bit. But this mid lane pool is pretty stacked. So we'll have to see from there.
It's definitely hard to like rank people. I mean, MHD actually played against Vossler. So I'm interested to see, like, this next week, because, let's see, MHD is playing against, let me see, who is he playing against? He's on Wawa, so he is playing against, Power of Friendship, so he's playing against Sai, actually, this week, so...
Ooh.
Good
So
test of skill to see there.
Yeah, so we'll see if he continues to stay, that in that
if he does
9
well,
range.
If he does well, my next power ranking, he's shooting up.
Yeah, so I mean, he was ranked 13th last week as the average. So I mean, definitely a good punch up there for him. But yeah, let's move on to the ADC. Starting off in the elite tier for myself, Azrael, Jason, Stran. These 3 people would have not guessed that they would be in this list compared to some of these other people in this ADC tier. But Azrael, I mean, really good showing. Didn't get streamed, but I know he popped off. That's what I've heard. Jason, really good ADC. He said, I don't want to play jungle anymore, so he got put into probably the second best role for him in ADC. So he's probably hating his life even more. And then Stran, honestly, biggest surprise to me this week. Like I knew Stran was good, but man, the way he played in his series this week was way better than like a plat player should be. I like high emerald at least. Maybe
I was talking about this earlier today. Actually, I think he could definitely be, if he played ranked and he sat down and he tried, he could easily be E2, E1, D4 anywhere in that range.
See, and that's kind of like where I'm like predicting him, because like some of those plays he was making was super crazy, and I'm like, that is not a plat player, So I was very surprised about that. Moving down to my top tier, I got King Caterwall, Them, Nico, Affection, and Lewin. Goblin and King. Honestly, King, Goblin, and Nico. Honestly, they're really just respect picks. Like, I know they lost, but I just know they're better, and I think they just had a bad week, so they'll maybe bounce back. Besides Nico, he can bounce back week 3. And then everyone else played really well and did their job as ADCs. I was really happy with Affection or Giuseppe Hack's performance this week. I thought it was really good. Moving down to our middle tier, Sporadic and Pycronos. Honestly, had moments. They just didn't win the game. I thought Sporadic and Pycro had a really good good games. Their team just didn't win. So, and then finally, my low tier, I have Sauce, Bird, and Yahuzi. Honestly, no really words. Bird, didn't really see a whole lot of you. Sauce, I don't think I got to see your game. Oh no, I did see your game, but I just don't remember anything about you. And that's just the truth. Sorry, dog. And then finally, Yahuzi. I mean, listen, man. It's, like I said, all you can do is go up from here. But this last week it just wasn't it for you. So maybe next week though, we'll see. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna send it over to Asteria.
All right, now this is ADC. This is my baby. So you better believe me when I say this role this season is very stacked. And if I came back, I would not even put myself in top 5. I'd probably put myself 6th.
I actually would probably put you like 8th right now.
I hate you. Anyway,
depending on how you played that week, because sometimes you're a little bit of a coin flip player. I will.
100%. No, I want to spin that wheel. Anyway, back to the list. This is what we're actually here for. So, Cyril, Cyril is top tier player, XGM, really good in general. He is very familiar with Morn. They're pretty good friends. That's the reason why he actually came in the league. Morn went around asking if he could draft a Cyril. That would be okay. People would let him have him. And he ended up getting him. And it's really starting to pay off, and it will continue to pay off. A Cyril is going to run this league. I am 100% sure about that. Quote me in week 9. So, is it ASN Jason?
Yep, that's Jason. Yeah,
I'm just gonna call him Jason then. All right.
Yeah, it's Asian Jason. That's his name.
Jason. Okay, I'll just call him Jason. All right, Jason.
Everyone knows him as Jason.
Yep. I'm not a fan of competitive Jhin picks, but he had a damn good Jhin. I got to admit, he played Jhin really well. He played it exactly how he should. He played it in a utility manner. He had a lot of assists compared to kills, and he played it really well. He played safe. He's very vocal. He brings a lot to the team, both as a mechanical player as well as a team member. Strand, we already talked about this. He can easily be Emerald 1, D4 if you just play the game more. PhD has changed him though. He used to be very quiet. He used to be this passive Misfortune Ashe player, and over time he's gotten more and more vocal. His champion pool has adjusted little by little, but he's being a lot more vocal, and it's starting to show. Him and Tubby are running things down there. Wait, when we get the support pick, this comment's going to come back to bite me. So they're running things down there, and Strand drafted a pretty good team. He should be pretty happy with it. He has a very good, strong top side, and the bot lane, they're holding down the fort, and they're just going to keep it up. And this top 3, I would say is probably, I will say it's locked for the moment.
Ooh,
I will say that. Strand might go.
That one you're huffing
That's
mega.
crazy.
You're having mega copium. You're having mega copium. Azurill, yes.
That's true.
I would say
Azurill 100%. I think
Jason.
I feel like Jason is probably locked in 2-3. 3 will probably change a lot.
I think we brought you on here just to talk crazy at this point.
Okay, listen. There is a lot of competition in the ADC, like you said. Just like King Caterwall, even though he had a bad showing this week, he is still a Masters or GM player. I can't remember his rank off the top of my head.
Masters.
Yeah, Masters. So you're having some major company, and I think Nico is going to have a bounce back week. At least not week 2. Week 3 though, he can have his bounce back week.
Yep. If things keep going and Nico has bounce back week, Nico reached GM on ADC. He's very clearly capable of competing with the big boys in the top 3. I say the big boys Strand's still there. But yeah, King Caterwall, as you said, Masters ADC, really good pocket of Helios. If you were to bring that out, you could probably do really well and kind of carry a game. Not the best showing. I'm looking to see more from him in the future. Them, kind of the same situation. I feel like he did all right, but he could definitely do a lot better. I know Them is a very good player. It's hiding there. He's a hidden gem. Goblin is my middle of the Rob is my middle of the pack pick here, and that feels criminal. I will be honest. It feels absolutely criminal to be saying that.
Yeah.
But ADC this season is just so stacked. The top 9 are probably very interchangeable between 2 and 9, I'd say. And Goblin didn't have the best showing. I feel like him and Garrett Alteris need a little more time to kind of figure things out, find some bot lanes that they feel very comfortable with. And I think over time, they'll definitely improve. Goblin will go up here, and that'll be good. Sporadic, Luden, Picronus, Affection, they can all switch in my opinion. Sporadic will only improve. Luden is a very solid player. It's just we're gonna have to see what kind of champ pool he decides to bring out.
Well, and
As-
you gotta remember the other thing is like he's got Big Dummy on his side, so
Yep.
he's gonna learn so much this season.
Oh,
So.
definitely. They are a scaling bot lane, and they're doing well. They won their game. They're doing well.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
as the season goes on, they're going to get better and better. I have no doubt about that. But I do think in terms of his individual performance, it mainly depends on what kind of champ pool he wants to do, because he is known in previous seasons to play more of like passive scaling picks, but he could definitely play mechanical early game winning picks with Big Dummy and just run that bot lane if they wanted to. So it'll be interesting to see that. Bottom three, the low tier, kind of just all locked, I feel like, for the moment. So yeah.
I feel like affection should be higher, but that's just my personal opinion. I think Giuseppe Heck had a really good weekend, or week. So, but that's not what we're talking about. Sparks, hit me with that list.
So, I'm just gonna say it right now. Throughout the season, bot lane is my least comfortable like knowledge like point for a lot of like just like general like players. So this is the one I'm mostly focused on like mid top jungle. It's kind of like where I kind of like thrive and like kind of like knowing a little bit more of the knowledge and the things. But I still have some opinions I want to share. Whenever I get a chance to glaze Strand, I'm always gonna glaze Strand. He's my boy. And I really think in terms of like a one-on-one like performance, it was big ups for Strand this week. I don't know if it's gonna stay this way considering it was like the situation that he found himself in, but I think this will be his one time for sure that he gets to just enjoy being at the peak, the pinnacle.
I don't know. I'll be the one with Copium. He is going to stay there. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I would say he's got a fairly easy matchup, but that's also because I just played against them. He's playing Rookies and Cream next week, so I guess we'll kind of see.
Yeah, I think Rookies and Cream will be a good one because that's per Cronus, if I remember.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, so I think that would be a good showing. I think that's one to watch. Other things I'll just mention. I'm really high on a lot of these players just because of like personal knowledge of them in the past. I need to apologize. I think I put Giuseppe lower than I realized on there.
No, that's where he should be.
Nah, I don't know. Just not this week.
Nah.
Not this week.
Nah,
I kind of glazed over, or I guess just kind of like went past a couple of players. So I think Giuseppe, if I went back on this list, I'd put just a little bit higher, not too much higher, but at least like past like Bercronus and Lewin. Big ones I'm expecting to go up, like trend wise. I'm hoping to see more from Rob and Nico. I really think those two can shoot up really high up into the power rankings. I already have them pretty decent on here. I'm big on Lewin, especially because he has a like perfect person to have here with a Big Dummy on the back corner. It's like the guy to have, right, when you want to learn. So I think I'm already big on Lewin, and I think this will encourage it. Sprag's my favorite teammate I ever had, so I'm gonna be very biased whenever I see Sprag playing. So I'm only going to just assume he shoots up higher. And then I really want to see just a little bit more. I think Yehuzi had a rough go at it. I want to see a big bounce back in the upcoming weeks. And then just kind of like everything past that. Yeah, it's kind of my main thoughts on ADC at the moment.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is like Yehuzi, like he has a really good team around him. I think honestly they just had a really bad week. I mean, I think they'll bounce back. I mean, let's see, they're playing. Who are they playing this week? They are playing. They're actually playing our cross match of the week, so they're playing the Gauntlet. So I mean, they're playing Sporadic and PvP. So we'll see if Yehuzi and PvP Leona can pull it off.
One thing I always want to say with like folks that like I rank like kind of on the lower end, like I think like the best thing I can just say, and I'll just say it like off the rip now, just like focus on just like improvement. Like when I like switched over the top lane, I was like put at like the very bottom of like power rankings on that season, and then just like slowly climbed up. You just gotta kind of like put your head to the grindstone and just like keep at it. And I think a lot of these players that we have kind of like rated lower, I think they definitely have room to shoot up. And it just really just depends on just like how much effort they put in, and we'll see that over the course of the season.
Yep, for sure. I totally agree. But yeah, let's move on to our support tier. Not a very big surprise at all. I mean,
why do you have Tubby there? That's crazy.
Yeah, listen, we'll cover his in a
I'll
minute.
get to it. Don't you
So,
worry.
but yeah, so elite tier, Big Dummy, pretty obvious number one. Unless like he has a really bad week and maybe Spirit Man and Litsphere can somehow bounce back. I think Big Dummy's pretty much got number one locked down. But honestly, two people who performed extremely well this week. So I wanted to show them some love and some respect. Gamer D and Brissy. Honestly, two players that I did not think were gonna have that much of an impact in their games. I stand corrected. I think Gamer D and Brissy had really good games, and I'm very pleased with putting them 2 and 3. And then another person going into my top tier is Tubby. Really good game. Strand, Tubby. I think this is gonna be a bot lane. They kind of have that synergy from last season playing on uh oh gosh, what was their name? Conflict of interest, but I think this bot lane is going to be pretty good. And then I have Enderfridge, but Enderfridge didn't play, so it's going to be Sexy Shawarma. So basically we had a PTS from last season minus Gar. So we had pretty much a solid synergy there. Spirit and Litsphere kind of just respect picks here. I just don't think they lose to any of these other players in the bot lane. So that's kind of my top tier. And then going into my mid tier, I have Alturas, Ilya, oh my gosh, Sifra, BBQ Leona, and PPP. Most of them just respect picks, minus Ilya. I think they played well. But I just think Garrett's better, even though Ilya technically beat Alturas. But, I'm just showing respect to the boys. And then going into the low tier, Pony and Sloth. Pony, I honestly just don't remember you in my series, and you were in the game. I just don't remember you. I'm just gonna be straight up, bro.
Okay.
And then Sloth. I did watch your game, but I'm putting you last because I want you to be better. All right. I know you're better than some of these other players. But man, I'm giving you some drive. Make me want to put you higher, god damn it. So, and yeah, that's about it. Before we
X-rays.
get
Good.
to no, what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say X-rays making my Tubby pick look reasonable.
No.
Let's not get weird now, man.
Well, don't get ahead of yourself. But first, let's hear from Sparks before we hear this massive fucking coping you're huffing over here.
As I mentioned before, bot lane's not my specialty, so a lot of this was kind of like off of general like
you copy pasted us, got it.
And a little bit feel. There's some things I do change though, because I did watch the one where I was like, this week, if I'm being quite honest, the one where I was like, wow, this is the support I'm like, wow, was Colin this week out of nowhere, shockingly. I was like, wow. But the rest of it was like, I mean, I don't have a lot of great things to say on like all the supports necessarily. I want to see more, and I think I'll be focusing on this season more on the support players because I'm interested by some of these newer folks I'm not as familiar with, like Sifra and Ilya. I just kind of want to learn a little bit more. Lightsphere as well. I'm really big on Tubby, especially Tubby and Strand performing as well as they did. I think I know what Alters brings to the table, like from like a being on a team with him, like what he brings like on the back end. Because a lot of things that we forget is that some people that might not be performing as well mechanically might be doing a lot of the vocal talk, and so they might not be like doing like crazy empowerings, but it may be like a big like focal point for the team. Who knows? I think Alteris is definitely someone who brings a lot to the table on the back end that not a lot of people may necessarily realize. So I put him decently high up. And that's just kind of a thing I wish I could get some more knowledge on, but I'll be watching more closely on these support games. Just overall, that's kind of my main thoughts on it.
All right.
Short and sweet.
All right.
All right, we'll start for should I start for the top or the bottom?
I wanna hear about
wait,
this hobby
no. We want to hear. I want to hear it last. All right, we'll hear
Last?
about it
Okay,
last.
all right.
Okay.
We'll start proper. All right. So, Dean, Mr. Big Dummy 69. He could pick up any role on any team and probably compete for a top 4 position, but he's back. He's his main role. He's support. He is just going to murder everyone. Put Luden next to him. Luden's very good at listening. Over time, Luden will go up the rankings. I am 100% sure of that. But Big Dummy 69 staple here, unless we see a consecutive really bad performances for some reason, he's going to stay here. Gamer D, I have heard so many people just talk about him. Oh, he's a Seraphine player. You know, he just wants to sit back, he just wants to chill. He can play Maokai. He can play Karma. He can play things that actually want to fight. I've seen him play Nautilus, and he brought out the Maokai, and he did Maokai things. He lives mid lane. So he had a great performance. I think Gamer D is one of the more solid supports. I feel like he'll always be at least top 5, top 6, somewhere around there. Very consistent depending on week's performance. Lightsphere, he could have had a better performance, but in terms of what he brings to the team, as Sparks was saying, he brings a lot, both verbally and in terms of like gameplay. That team is kind of a power friendship team, in the sense that I do not think they're going to have the best like performance overall, but individually, I think he's going to do all right. Alturas, once again, he and Rob and Goblin need to practice a little more. They need to kind of get on the same page. Once they're on the same page, I think Alturas can go up to number 2, number 3. He can do a lot better. He didn't have the best performance this week, and over time, I think that will improve. Brissy, I should have probably, in hindsight, put him above Alturas. He and Jason are really strong together. Brissy moving to support from top lane, a genuine, really good surprise. I did not expect him to move into bot lane and be like, yep, I know how to do this. And he does know how to do it. He walks in and he does what he needs to do for his ADC. He's a key part to their success, and he just does what he needs to do. Now, PPP, individually, he could do good. Individually, and I feel like it doesn't matter what role he plays. He's a field player at heart. He can play really well no matter the role. I have seen it. When he starts bringing out crazy picks, for some reason, it works. But there's an asterisk there. He's with Sporadic, and I know Sporadic does not like those crazy picks. So if they somehow find a way to get PPP on his crazy picks and it starts working out, him and Sporadic will see a lot of success. But I think playing standard, it's as they did this week, it's not going to be the best, but I am holding out hope. I think he can definitely compete up here and stay in these like top 9, top 10. Support, once again, is fairly stacked in the top half of things, so it's good to see. This is a really good Summit season in terms of like the player, I guess, like skill level.
The quality of players we have
like,
this season is really good, yeah.
Definitely. I think that the average is like Diamond 3, Diamond 4.
I think so in my personal opinion, I think the weakest role this season is definitely top lane.
Yeah.
So, like every other role, like jungle has fucking, I think 11 Diamond plus players, and then like mid lane is pretty much in the same boat. You know, I don't think it's that many. I think it's like 7 or something like that. But it's like still, and then like ADC, it's just pretty much all master players, couple diamonds, and you know you have those couple like stragglers, and then support. You know, and I honestly think like support is kind of like that budget tier. It's like you really don't need a super great support, but when you do have like these great supports like Big Dummy, Gamer D, you know, these players that know what they're doing, they show you why they're the best, sort of thing.
Yeah. And then just a couple like last notable things for support. Sifra, great showing. I am giving them the same treatment as Luden. I think, and putting them about the same place. I think as the season goes on, Azurill is going to put Sifra in the hyperbolic time chamber, and they will rank up significantly fast. They will have very good knowledge of the game, and they'll do really good. And for the moment, though, leaving them at 10th just kind of tentatively to see where they go. I'm excited to see where they go for the future. I feel like they'll skyrocket personally. BBQ Leona, it's always a disappointment in the previous Summit seasons, but also this Summit season, because they are a master tier player and they should be able to compete within the top 5. And time again, it just feels like they're falling short of that.
Yep.
Now, granted, Yahuzi was the ADC for them and for BBQ Leona, and I know it's kind of hard if there's like a dysfunction, you could say, between the ADC and support. Like, what do? You can't really do too much, and that might be the case. But I'm just hoping over time they'll improve. Sloth, I know you won I know you won a game. That's about it.
That's crazy.
Listen. I'm just happy that you ranked her higher than me, because I'm gonna be honest. I actually just don't. I know I played against him, but I just don't remember anything from Pony. I'm not trying to mean that in like a rude way, but it's like I just don't remember anything from.
No, it's understandable. The Rookies and Cream bot lane is there's room for improvement there, definitely. And the way they played wasn't the most notable, admittedly, and it kind of shows by X-Ray actually forgetting the opponents he played against.
I legitimately I actually forgot. Like I knew Array was on the team and Touch Vigor, and then I just don't remember the 3 players. So that's why I had to like look at my list on another screen. So and then I was like, oh wait, yeah, that's right. I played against Mundo 2 games in a row, and then I played against Malphite.
That was all just a blur.
And he and it's like I have done that multiple times before, yep. And it's like I'm gonna be honest, like you just did not leave an impression, and that's just the reality. But
now we get to Tubby.
Let's hear this
Tubby. Oh, carried by Strand, the support himself.
Oh man.
So, Tubby. Yeah. I was gonna play a clip here, but I can't, sadly.
So,
I lost it.
If you guys want to see the clip,
yeah, I'll post it
yeah,
in that Tubby and Trash Talk.
Don't do it in Trash Talk. Do it in the community power rankings.
Okay.
On the Summit Discord, and just be like, "Hey yo, at Tubby," and then we'll probably pin it or something like that, and just be like, "Hey, like this is why Tubby's last." So if you want,
yeah, this is the justification.
So
yeah, no, Tubby. If I'll be completely honest, Tubby's a great support. He's gonna do great, but I'm throwing him here because I want to see him do better.
Okay.
That's crazy. When you're at the floor, you can only go up.
Totally didn't go 2-0 in his series, but you know.
I mean, Strand did all of the heavy lifting. Let's be.
Tubby's gonna have to get more kills than Strand for Corey to give respect to him.
Tubby has to have more kills than everybody on the team. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh man.
Wow. Okay.
I want to see Tubby next week just go from like last place to like first place or second place.
I was like, first place is pretty hard. You got to beat Big Dummy. So, but let's move on to our final thing is the team. Starting off, I mean, Sprinklers, Tinklers, obvious, best team around.
I think it has one of the best names.
Yeah, best name. Have you seen our logo?
I have not actually.
Oh, okay. I'll send the logo after we're done recording. I think you'll enjoy it. So, I mean, it's a little biased, but, you know, I still think we're a pretty solid team, so, and I only think we'll go up from here. Moving on, Gar's first grade class, who doesn't love an underdog story, and they weren't just an underdog, they actually swept McMammals this week, so that's why I put them at number 2. Summon Admins, I also thought just very pleased with their performance. Team played well. I think Strand is honestly he's in his villain arc. I think this season, like,
oh yeah,
he's gonna be, you know, it's like because Strand has always been like that like middle tier player. You know, like when you draft him, you know what you're getting. This season, like nobody like really was like, oh man, I want to get drafted onto Strand's team, because I just know like how he's gonna play. I'm very surprised with how he performed in this week 1 match. I hope it continues. I hope it continues. I hope he just is like, yeah, I'm just better than everyone in this league now. So That's why I put Salmon Admins here. I thought they had really good. Moving on, Wawa Warriors were hunting for some chipmunks, and they found more than one of them. A very dominant showing. Bertel, honestly, the most surprising, I think, in this week. Like, if I had to choose, like, a key player this week for, like, most surprising performance, it has to be Bertel. And then I think, like, a close second is Strand. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we'll kind of see what happens though if they can continue, this streak. But yeah, moving on. Power of Friendship, overall really clean game from this team. Definitely some areas to improve on though. Elo Surfers, if they can beat this next week's opponent, I think they can be moved up more. Which I just can't remember now what their next week's. Oh yeah, I think it was Owen's team, if I'm not mistaken. Or sorry, or 1,000 Year Dynasty. So that's gonna be VLN, Flash and I, Loon, and Big Dummy. So I'm really just looking at that bot lane. If they can continue to perform. Moving on. 1,000 Year Dynasty, like I said, Psy, David, if they can continue that streak of just murdering everyone, I think they'll do good. World Center, kind of like a respect pick, honestly. I honestly thought Owen pretty much 1v9 to this series. If he played a little bit better, I think like it's a clean 2-0, but who knows? And then I got Rookies and Cream. Kind of another respect pick. I think Array's team is, right now, I think a lot better than some of these lower tier teams. Just because, like, these lower tier teams either just had a really bad showing or, like, they just weren't there, sort of thing. The Gauntlet, honestly think they'll bounce back. I think they'll move up, to at least a 6, depending on how everyone else plays this week. Beware Gaming. Man, I'm gonna be honest, Shuhuzi. It's gonna be rough, but I think you can bounce back for sure. And then Final Boss. I mixed it up. I have Final Boss at 11th for some reason. Whatever. Honestly, I just think Final Boss will just need that jungle and bot synergy like they had, last season, or sorry, 2 seasons ago. And then Alan and the Chipmunks, just bad plays, bad team, chaotic comms. P.S. No VOD means whatever I saw is what I'm going to judge on. So, give me VODs and I'll actually judge you better. So, this is just a personal opinion. And then finally, McMammoth. I had him number 1 last week, and now I have him last. Upset City, honestly. I was very displeased with their performance. And like I said, I really hope they can rebound after week 3. Because after they lose to, Sprinklers Tinklers, not biased, So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I just, like, McMammoth, like, that was... I won't beat the dead horse anymore, so I'm going to send it over to Asteria. And I really like your first pick, by the way.
Yeah, Sprinklers Tinklers. I will admit this is in part because the name is really good. They may not have 3 points, but the name is really good. So I mean, I kind of had to.
Okay, I respect it. I respect it.
Interesting.
Yep. Next, I have Summit Admins, and I mean, we talked about that team in general. Strong top side, Strand, dead weight in the support, but they can make up for it elsewhere. So all in all, really good team. If I'm being realistic, they could probably be number 1. Wawa Warriors, I mean, a Cyril, Morn, Baratel stepping up to the plate. Sifra, who's going to learn more. MHD, who he can improve. He's solid at the moment. But very strong team. I'm excited to see what they do with their bot lane this season. Baratel is going to be a monster, I think, especially against the lower tier top laners. And then after that, we've got Gar's first grade class. Now, Gar's kindergarten class was interesting. It had a undrafted player this season, Heiko, but we don't have him this time. And what do you know? They're doing really damn good without him.
That's so crazy to say.
I know.
Heiko, don't do my boy Heiko
I
like
know.
that.
I gotta do our boy like that.
Yo, Heiko, I wouldn't take that if I were you.
Yeah, Heiko, I'd respond back in kind. That's crazy.
Yep. So, I mean, every part of this team is very strong, and they could next week be first place. They on my list, they could very easily just murder everybody else in this league, like they have been doing. Power of friendship, it's David, it's Sai. They are just going to keep performing. They will hopefully run some ARAMs and increase their friendship bonds and cook everybody. And then we have Elo Surfers here, Goombi Power, really showing why he is the rank he is. Bringing in Gamer D, bringing in their jungler, their jungler of the week, I should say.
Bouncy.
And
My
Bouncy,
boy.
yeah.
My boy.
I forgot the name, so I was just going to say jungler of the week. But yeah, Bouncy. Bringing in Bouncy and just kind of running down that mid lane. And I know Soulpan, when he does actually play, he is very more orientated to play for mid lane than bot lane, for example. So if they can keep the dynamic they have going right now, they're going to cook.
Yep.
1,000 Year Dynasty, it is very much so once again a power of friendship team featuring Dean. And Dean is going to coach this bot lane up. They are going to start cooking. Now, World Soup Center, it's a tough placing for me because I can't tell if the game they took was just Owen or if it was like a good team dynamic.
It was Owen and
Yeah.
Hootie. That was it.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a rough placing for me. I'm gonna put them over here at 8th just because I feel like as a team they could do really good. They could definitely do a little bit better. But it kind of felt like Owen and Hootie just kind of said like, all right, we're gonna win. I don't care what anyone does.
I think Owen and Hootie were, or I think Owen was like, he was fed. I think I actually have the stats right here. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see.
It was like 44k, and like the next person was like 17k, I think, in damage, or something ridiculous like that.
Oh man, I don't think I have it. Wait, where is it? I don't have it. That's very sad. But yeah, it was.
They did great.
It was Owen. It was literally just Owen and Hootie. I mean, also played really well.
The Owen
wait,
factor.
no, I have it actually. So the Owen show, 17-0 and 13.
When's the last time we saw a scoreline like that in Summit?
85.7% KP, 84 or 8.4 CS per moment, 44k damage. You know what the second closest was? It was Soup with 19k.
Jesus,
Dude was over double the score or damage. So
I have been around Summit for every season they've played, and even before that. And I can't remember the last time I've seen a 17-0 scoreline, or anything even close to that. I think the most I've seen has been 11.
Probably the closest person was probably Owen in the previous
It was
season.
probably Owen in the previous season, yeah. So he would have 10 CS per minute, but he was too busy farming kills. So, so yeah, no, it's kind of hard to kind of play some higher or lower than this for me, at least, because it's Owen just ran that game completely. But overall, as a team, they can improve their team dynamic and kind of find more power points on the map. Moving on, it would be the rookies and cream array. I don't know what this man is made of. Pick a role, he will do great. And just like last season, I think as like week 2, week 3 kind of comes around, he'll start cooking. And I think teaming up with Touch Vigor in that jungle, the mid 2v2 is going to be really strong. They're going to improve. Hopefully, Array, with his knowledge, his vast knowledge of every single role, he'll be able to kind of coach up his bot lane too to be a bit more stable. So kind of hoping for that at the moment. And then we have the Gauntlet, kind of a situation of I'm praying PPP and Sporadic kind of find their groove, while at the same time Neversaw gets back into her groove of what she had last season, where she's just going to pick Smolder, she's just going to pick whatever she wants to do, and she's just going to murder her opponent and then just scale out of her mind and just snowball the game. So looking forward to that. Final boss. This is a team that we have seen more or less before. I can't remember who the replacement was for Hamea, but it's okay. But Asuna, Ryan.
It was hang on, I know it. It was Lord Kobayashi, I think.
Yes, it was Laura Kobayashi, and then they had Dean for that season, I believe. But pretty much Goblin, Alturas, great bot lane. They have played together in the past. I just think they need to find their footing. Alturas has been out of the competitive game for about a season, and he's he's dipping his toes back in. He's trying to find his groove. And not to say he's performing bad. It's just that once they find their groove, they're going to be performing a lot better. Their top side is strong. Ryan, not the best showing this week. In the future, I feel like he will do a lot better. But I'm going to leave them here at 11th. They could go up. They could go down. Really depends on how these future weeks go. And then we have Beware Gaming, and I just don't see a strong point on this team. Sadly, I was thinking Naki was going to be it, but it's not looking like it at the moment. It looked like a bit of a blunder, and I'm curious to see where it goes from there, especially with Yahuzi and BBQ Leona kind of having like a dysfunction there. But
Yep.
we'll have to see how that one goes. McMammals, I know you put them last, X-Ray. I have
Okay.
some inside sources. I cannot reveal anything or what's going on, but there will be some changes. They're
Oh,
going to
really?
they're going to whip things into shape,
Oh.
and I feel like I'm putting them at 13 right now. I feel like in the future, if things go well, they find their groove, 8th,
Oh.
9th, possibly.
Okay, and I think I see
So-
what might happen, but
You never know. So, Alan and the Chipmunks, once again, power of friendship team. Unfortunately, they picked the friendship for the wrong roles, so we're kind of in a weird spot at the moment. Lightsphere, great player. Caterwall, great player. Together, I don't know. Bossler, pretty good support. He'll listen and actually pick up knowledge. He was prepared to play ADC if needed. He's playing mid lane, so this is completely new to him, and he's not really having a good showing because of that. And at the moment, I don't feel like Vossler is going to be able to compete with pretty much every single mid at this current moment at the level he's playing at. Over time, he's getting he's going to get coaching from Nico, probably from Owen, and he will get better. But for the moment, it's a little rough. So
all right, Sparks, let's wrap it up.
All right, I'm gonna keep it kind of quick. But there's about like 2 or 3 things I want to mainly say. One, I think you guys are. I know why Extra is gassing you guys up. Korai, I know, is a name thing. I'm big on sprinklers, tinklers. I'm not number 1 team big on sprinklers, tinklers.
Okay.
I
No,
think
no,
you guys are
I
good.
respect it. I respect it. No, because I mean, like I'm pretty obvious, like why. I
Yeah.
mean, Cora, but like if I had to like really position ourselves, I'd probably put up our team probably where you got him right now is in the 5th spot. So I definitely agree.
I think you guys are good for sure. I will say if there's a breakout performance from one of the other players, like Array in that game 1, then that's what we just saw. So that's just I'm just kind of keeping it kind of kosher right now. I do think you guys are good. I think 1 is crazy. The big team I'm huge on is Summit Admins. They were the most impressive to me.
Moscow Steven.
Yeah, I really, really like that team. There's 3 teams in particular I'm going to be like kind of big on this season. The teams I'll be watching for just because I have personal relations with them, and I also just like the team dynamics that I've seen.